Have you ever gambled your life on something completely insane?
Hands behind your back.
It seems like you've just been absconding with the money, Danielle.
The lights, they're flashing. I'm at the Cannes Film Festival. It's all coming together. My great plan to become a glorious filmmaker. Except it's not, because I'm only 20 years old and I've only made a short film and it didn't really get into the Cannes Film Festival. That's a story for later. What is the story for now is that you can become a filmmaker. You can do it if you work hard, if you grind, if you have a little bit of talent, hard work, and privilege, you can become a successful filmmaker. Just like me. Sort of.
Okay, Daniel, where should we, are you gonna come from way back there? Okay.
I don't really know where we're telling them I am.
You don't need to tell them you're anywhere. Do you want me to tell you what we wrote? Because it's pretty good.
We wrote something.
Daniel.
I just feel like all these like YouTube people are like always saying like fake shit. And I also feel like filmmakers are too.
Yeah.
And also, did you see that video? I worked for like 12 years to become an extremely successful filmmaker. The extreme part didn't really happen, but I became sort of successful. I made my first $1 million movie. I just finished it. I have no idea if it's any good. I don't really know if I want to be doing this anymore. Okay. Here's a story of me becoming a drug dealer. I am 15 years old. I've just transferred to a new school. And there's this kid named I'm like sort of kind of friends with, not really, but I wanted to be friends with him and wants weed. So I know how to get weed from one of my martial arts instructors. So I get weed from one of my martial arts instructors and I give it to him for free, okay? And then my friend Teresita tells me, yo, everybody thinks you're a drug dealer because you gave weed. And I was freaking the fuck out. You're 16 or 15 years old. Everybody thinks you're a drug dealer. You're this little like white Mexican Jewish kid like in the suburbs of DC. Like you shouldn't be a drug dealer. Like that's like something I didn't think you should be. So I message who's this girl who's in the year above me. Yo, everybody thinks I'm a drug dealer. I don't know what to do. And the message comes on my screen that says, what are you talking about? Drug dealers are the hottest. And that's when I decided to become a drug dealer. I was selling to everybody in the school because some people knew I did magic. I would sell the drugs inside of card boxes. I didn't really have any magic friends. I get asked by this guy to do an interview for the school newspaper on drug dealing. And me, starved for attention Daniel, decides to do this anonymous interview. I basically tell him that I sell drugs in the school, like that I sell to everyone. Oh God, that was so fucking stupid. And then I do this drug deal, and it's a setup. 6 kids with fucking ski masks jump out. They have fucking knives, and they're like, give us all your fucking shit. They're like, give us all your fucking shit. And then I went to those kids, and I said, please don't print that article in the newspaper. I'm done with this. I'm not selling drugs anymore. And they still did. And then there was a witch hunt for whoever this anonymous drug dealer was. Nobody fucking liked me. And so a bunch of kids ratted me out. Other drug dealers ratted me out. Set me up. The kid who I had first given drugs to, fuck you. They find me, and I got expelled. And my parents are sitting there being like, what are you gonna do with your life? What are you gonna do? And I literally, I think it was at random, I'm like, I'm gonna be a filmmaker. That summer, the summer I'm expelled, they find an internship in New York with a short filmmaker. And I think to myself, this isn't that hard. I can become a fucking filmmaker. So I write my first short film called Writer's Block, very original.
It's not gonna work. Fuck!
And then I went to NYU, got really into drugs, more than I was. I made several short films. Do you know at the time I did? I was just making these like ridiculous, very self-indulgent movies while extremely high, like railing and then like doing, and then going to class and drinking an espresso and calling it wizard mode. And then I would get to class and I would talk. Why would you, in what realm? Big balls. Then I made a lot of other things, semi-thesis film called What Here Needs Love. If that isn't a cry for help, I don't know what is. I said, I'm not gonna do drugs 2 months before shooting. I'm gonna be clean for 2 months. And I'm like, I'm not gonna use drugs a month before shooting. I'm not gonna use drugs a week before. I'm not gonna use drugs on set. Only gonna use these drugs. It's got lizard mode. We were trying to edit the movie together, and it wasn't really working. And my best friend said to me, when you wanna get your career together, you're going to stop doing drugs. So I got clean, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And the very first thing I made was called Adios.
Bueno.
And it wasn't glitzy, it wasn't glamorous. It got into Sundance Ignite, which is basically Sundance's fellowship for young filmmakers. And then Sundance, all they want you to do, and I'm so sorry, Sundance, I love you, Sundance, please put one of my movies one day in the film festival. They love like these like trauma movies. So I pitched this movie about me being sexually assaulted when I was 15, which is true, and how it made me confuse my sexuality. And I don't even know what I am, if I'm gay or straight, or whatever. And a producer told me, would I consider making the young martial arts student, instead of 15, making him like 16, 17. So it was like a bit more ambiguous whether or not the teacher was being a pedophile. At first, I was like, of course not. Like, that's not what actually happened. Like, this is about pedophiles. A few months later, when no one else had bidden on the script, at Sundance, I met with this guy and I told him, hey, I'm totally willing to change the script. Which is so shameful.
And it is more interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It is more interesting if he's older. If he's younger, it's just a pedophile movie. There's no gray area about whether or not a pedophile is wrong. Of course it's wrong, but if he's like 17...
It was off to the races. Amazing executive producers. Got a great cinematographer director. Sent the script out to Harry Styles. Harry did not want to star in the movie. He didn't want to play a pedophile. I was gonna make my movie, and it was gonna get into Sundance, and yeah, and then the pandemic happened. And none of my lying was worth it. So I made a short film called IRL about two actors trying to rehearse a scene.
What is wrong with you?
What?
You can't say that shit. Yeah, you can't say that. Stop saying it.
Oh.
Stop saying it.
Faggot, you're being a faggot, okay? And I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm sorry. Whatever. I'm gonna get the lecture
Do you fucking
later.
hear yourself, dude? Fucking toxic masculinity. You sound like some all
Don't
lives
start.
matter red pill motherfucker. No.
Yeah, you want to be Mr. Feminist. 90% of the time, when you get some fucking nudes, Casey's pussy and ass, you're gonna send them to me, right?
What? No, I never did that. I never sent you anything, bro. I showed you on my phone one time.
I sent it to this guy named Josh Peters. Josh watched it and called me and said, what do you want to do with this? And in Hollywood speak, what do you want to do with this means, how are we going to profit from this? So I told him that I had a feature film called God's Time about two addicts in recovery setting out to stop a murder. So I woke up every day at 7 a.m., which isn't that early. I'm not saying that I'm like some fucking like crazy motherfucker. And within 90 days, within the fall, $1 million or so, who's never made a comedy in his...
God's time, baby.
Yeah, you know, it's been fun. Mostly. I lost most of my hair making this movie. I'd shower while making the movie, and clumps of hair would fall out. Which maybe I am sick. And also, everybody keeps telling me I need to figure out what I'm gonna make next. I need to write another script about something, and I don't know what I'm gonna write it about. And I have this like thing, a pain in my side that really hurts. So, and I got a call from my dad that my cousin died of cancer. She's my age, or was my age, is my age? I don't even know.
No, is this turning off or something? But one thing I want to say, and particularly to my family, I don't know how I feel about including Savina's passing in this video, because the reality is I wasn't really present for her a lot of the time while she was sick, but I'm ashamed in some ways, at least publicly, to acknowledge that. Okay, I clarified who she is to me. Thanks. Okay, to kind of give you some context, I just finished my movie, and I don't have health insurance, but I have a weird pain in my side. I need to get health insurance. I've been incredibly absent from most of my family and friends, and no one expects to receive texts back. I want to be present, and I want to listen to the people around me. I want to stop making movies about myself. I want to make about other people. It's not all about me. So that's a bit of an artistic crisis. I want it to be sincere, and I'm tired of big money-making studios. I appreciate them. I'm grateful for them, but I want to have my own. I want to make something that I can just release, like, and I want to get the fuck out of New York City, and I want to travel. And I do have an idea of what movie I want to make next, and it's not about me, and it takes place in Hawaii. But I can't go to Hawaii because I don't have any money to go to Hawaii. So I have a solution. There is. Okay, the financiers of my movie, of God's Time, introduced me to another company called HimmelCo, which is the real name. Co-working, co-living thing. Look it up. I'll leave a link. Oh, God.
Can you do XCO pitch?
Okay, they basically have these buildings in like Phoenix and in Denver, and I feel like I'm just doing an ad now for X. They came to me and they said to me that they want to make media things and stuff, and so I said to them, how about I do a podcast? You know? And check this out. If the podcast gets greenlit, maybe I'll get fucking health insurance.
Hi, my name is Claudia.
Hi, I'm Cheryl.
Hi, how's it going? My name's Michael.
Hello, Daniel. My name is Tony Du.
Hi, Danielle. I'm Tara Bruno. I'm an actor in New York City.
Hi, my name is Dale.
Hi, I am Kevin White.
Hi there, my name is Liz. I live in the high desert of Los Angeles County.
Hi, I'm Steven.
Until yesterday, I was a regional manager for Denny's Restaurants and a psychology student.
I'm a former actress and a casting director, a magazine editor. I have one grown son. I live at the beach in New York City, and I currently have...
and I'm a lawyer.
I'm a 30-year-old actor, bartender, and server.
I'm a student.
I'm a musician.
I am single. I am divorced. I have 2 adult children.
I just watched the first episode of Turning Points, and it was really interesting, especially the part where we had to become a drug dealer.
I just finished the first episode of Turning Points, and I loved it. I was so inspired. I love your energy. It just makes me feel like I can...
I just got done watching Turning Points. It was a great movie, great episode to watch.
I just watched the first episode of Turning Points. It was unique, different, unusual, special, confusing, bizarre, fun.
I just watched the first episode of Turning Points, and it is spot on exactly what's going on in my life. It's riveting. It's filled with...
And we just watched the first episode of Turning Points. It was really, I connected with the story, and I found it somewhat inspirational.
Hi, my name is Viveca, and
it was amazing and kind of funny.
Very entertaining and not boring. Thank you for that.
This episode made me think of this crisis in my life was when I lost my job, and the way that I got out of this crisis was just keep on pushing forward.
And the episode made me think of this crisis in my life. I was acting in LA. I had decided I didn't want to do it anymore.
The episode made me think of the crisis in my life. I got divorced, so I felt very useless, and I felt ugly, and I felt old. So I was like stuck in this thing where I didn't want to do anything. I was depressed, but I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want anybody to bother me. Or
2 weeks ago, I find out in the mail that my car insurance is about to expire, so I need to find a job to pay for car insurance. The current job that I have doesn't have enough, doesn't pay out enough to secure the insurance. On top of that, I need new
crisis in my life when I too was addicted to drugs, and I had a really hard time getting over that addiction.
So I was torn. Do I pursue a new career or do I stay in the marriage? And I decided.
And you're so, I love how human you are. I loved when you sneezed. And your story made me think about this time where I got drugs for my boyfriend by singing this song that was a little scandalous. It goes a little like this. Put it in my mouth, it's in my motherfucking mouth. Or you can eat me out. I said you can eat me out. Anyway, I hope that's allowed in this testimonial. So anyway, I got the weed from my boyfriend for singing the song, and then 4 years later, when I was going up on stage to get my diploma, people started singing that song. So people didn't think I was a drug dealer, but they may have thought that I was a slut. I don't know. I just reclaimed the word slut, and I'm happy to be a slut, and what other people think of me is none of my business. I think I took a risk, and my boyfriend got what he wanted. I got what I wanted because I wanted to make my boyfriend happy. So, win-win.
So, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But watching this made me think of my current crisis, which is that yesterday I don't know, I just had a little bit of an epiphany or a breakdown, whichever you want to call it, and decided to put all of my things in my car and just run away from everything. You know, took what I have enough in savings to where I can just kind of go find something different, and I just don't know what that is yet. And I'm just, you know, I'm tired of the monotony of everything. So I don't really know what I'm doing with my life right now. And that's how I came upon this video. Is I was just looking on Craigslist for weird new things to do with your life. You know, see, there's stuff in my car. Here I sit, not really sure yet what I'm doing. So I guess maybe that being in that situation was my crisis, and this is how I got out of it. But now I'm in this crisis and I don't know how I'm gonna get out of it. I don't even know if I want out of it. I'm just not sure what I'm doing. So
thank you, Daniel, for making Turning Points.
Thank you, Daniel, for making Turning Points.
Thank you, Daniel, for making Turning Points.
Thanks, Daniel. Can't wait for the next episode.
Thank you to Daniel for making the episode Turning Points.
Yeah, thank you for making that video. It was very interesting to watch. And P.S. I think you should make your next film about me and my crazy impulsive self. Thanks.